Hello, everyone. Neil back once again with another quick streaming review for you. And today I'm going to be taking a look at The Mandalorian, Chapter 23, also known as Season 3, Episode 7. And it's called The Spies. And spoiler alert! Spoilers, yes, I will be spoiling the poodoo out of this episode. You've been warned. All right, moving on. This episode was directed by Rick Famuyiwa, and it's all about the return of Moff Gideon, played by Giancarlo Esposito, who makes his on-screen return to The Mandalorian here. He's informed that the Mandalorians, led by Bo-Katan, are trying to retake their home planet. And we get a little scene here with this Shadow Council, this circled, round table, basically, of Imperials that are, a couple of them are actually very interesting. One of them is called Hux, who apparently is the father of Hux in the Star Wars sequel trilogy, Episode 7, 8, and 9. And we also get Captain Pelion. Captain Pelion is a character from the Timothy Zahn novels, and he is basically, second in command to Grand Admiral Thrawn. So we're getting closer and closer to Grand Admiral Thrawn, which is very cool. And I did geek out when I heard the name Captain Pelion. I thought that was really great. That novel, Heir to the Empire, the trilogy that came out 30 years ago, is just fantastic. To see any kind of reference to those novels, whether it's on Rebels or here, is fantastic. So Moff Gideon, he fears an assassination attempt, so he asks for 3 Praetorian guards, which are these 3 highly skilled guards that are, they're pretty cool. I mean, they're kind of like the Emperor's Royal Guards, but they're more like the guards that we see later in The Last Jedi, fighting Rey and Kylo Ren. Now, meanwhile, Bo-Katan has united both clans of the Mandos, the ones that don't take off their helmets and the ones that do take off their helmets. And at first you think there might be a little bit of a civil war going on there. Like they don't really like each other. There is a fight that breaks out between 2 of them. But no, they actually do all get along. And under Bo's command, they wind up going to Mandalore, bringing the whole fleet there. And they encounter another group of Mandos, which are loyal to Bo-Katan. And they all board this big sail barge, and they take off towards the Great Forge to get it started again, to get the planet going again like the old days. But their sail barge is destroyed by this giant monster, like a dinosaur kind of, kind of thing. And the Mandos are all scattered, but they do make it to the Great Forge. Unfortunately, they are ambushed by these troopers that are wearing Beskar armor. And they start wondering what's going on with that, but they very shortly find out what the deal is, because they fall into a trap, and we see Moff Gideon in a Dark Trooper outfit, not too different from Darth Vader's outfit, quite frankly, although it's made with Beskar, so he's, extra protected now. And the bad guys have been hiding out on Mandalore here, led by Moff Gideon, and they've captured Din Djarin, who fights very valiantly, but they separate him from the rest of the group, and they kill a few other Mandos, but they wind up just capturing Din Djarin, knowing that he's valuable, I guess, and all the other Mandos are trapped, but they do eventually get out, thanks to Bo-Katan. I should also mention that Grogu joins them, because he now pilots IG-12, which is this rebuilt version of IG-11. The Anzellans present him with this droid that you can actually sit in his stomach, kind of like Krang on Ninja Turtles, you can just sit in the pilot seat there, and that's great. It makes Grogu more of an intimidating physical presence, allows him to reach things much easier and things like that, but kind of driving Din Djarin crazy right away, and Din was not crazy about the idea of Grogu being in the IG-12 unit, but he winds up to be okay. He can handle himself, and he does escape, thanks to Bo-Katan and the Darksaber. Paz Vizsla, the heavy Mando, he buys them time, trying to mow down all of the troopers, and he does kill all the troopers, but unfortunately for him, the 3 Praetorian guards show up, and they kill him. And that's where the episode ends. So it was an interesting episode. It was action-packed, and it went by very quickly. Interesting fact about it is that the title doesn't kick in until 9 minutes into the episode. It's great that we get this little Shadow Council scene, for the start of this episode, but it does seem to go on a bit long, and it does seem like, oh yeah, the titles. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. There should be a title here somewhere. So 9 minutes seems like a long time before the title, but whatever. That's not really a complaint. Story-wise, we got to wonder, the spies, and when they say the spies, do they mean that there's a spy in the midst of the Mandos? Do they mean that there is more than one spy? But, do they mean that one of them is a traitor? And you got to wonder if it's the armorer, Emily Swallow, because she takes off to help, basically help other Mandos recuperate. She takes the Mandos into space, into the fleet, to help them out. But does she? We don't know. We're gonna have to find out to the next episode. We don't know if she's a traitor, if someone else is a traitor. So we'll see. We'll see in the next episode. Are there too many Mandalorians? Maybe. It's hard to keep track of them all. So when some of them die, it's like, oh, there goes a Mando. I don't know who that was. But some of them are supposed to be just extras, of course. There's so many of them. Yeah, it is a bit like, okay, who are you? Which one are you again? Which one is this one? So it can be a little bit confusing to keep track of them all, certainly. I also got to wonder, about the Mythosaur. Is the Mythosaur going to show up? I don't know. We'll see in the next episode. It pretty much should, right? It'd be disappointing if it didn't. But obviously the last episode here coming up in the next week is going to be all about the need to rescue Din Djarin and to stop Moff Gideon once and for all. And it'll be a very interesting episode. I'm actually very looking forward to it. It does set up a very nice finale here to this season. And I don't really have many complaints about this episode at all. I mean, it just went by quickly, action-packed, good pace, the usual wonderful action, and great to, hear about some of these characters like Captain Pellaeon. So I enjoyed this episode. I thought it was rock solid. I'm going to give The Mandalorian Chapter 23, The Spies, an 8.5 out of 10. Good times, not the best episode, but a very good one, setting up the final episode of the season. All right, guys, that's all for me. This is Neil, and until next time, may the Force be with you. Peace.